This is quite a sight to behold. Kevin McCarthy walking up to Boebert and mainly Gaetz, trying to convince Matt Gaetz to vote yes and not present.
Kevin McCarthy on the brink of the speakership, all in the hands of Matt Gaetz, who is not willing to give it to him.
Did you see Mike Rogers from Alabama?
Mike Rogers of Alabama lunged at Matt Gaetz.
I've never seen anything like this. This is the kind of thing
None of us have.
Republican leader Kevin McCarthy plowed ahead with plans for a House takeover, formally announcing his bid for Speaker.
He needs to hit 218, and there are some Republicans, I'm thinking of Matt Gaetz for one, who have said time and time again they will never vote for Kevin McCarthy.
If you want to drain the swamp, you cannot put the biggest alligator in charge of the exercise.
For the first time in 100 years, the vote to elect a House Speaker has gone to multiple ballots.
On the first ballot, 19 House Republicans voted against McCarthy.
I rise to nominate the most talented, hardest working member of the Republican conference. I'm nominating Jim Jordan.
On the second, McCarthy again failed to get a majority and had 19 Republicans vote for Jim Jordan instead of him. On the third ballot, McCarthy actually lost another vote and had 20 members voting against him. At that point, leaders decided they needed a reset, and now there's a bunch of meetings happening behind the scenes in the Capitol.
The people who are voting against Kevin McCarthy in the Republican conference are aiding Joe Biden, aiding Hakeem Jeffries, and aiding Chuck Schumer.
How can they be so stupid? They're sabotaging conservatives. Who are these Republicans? Who are they? Matt Gaetz.
Gaetz.
Donald John
Trump.
Oh, he's enjoyable to watch on TV. He's a very clever debater. Utterly useless.
The principal goal of the people who are objecting to Mr. McCarthy on the Republican side is that we don't believe the rules of this place unlock the potential of all of the members to be able to cast votes on individual bills and to offer amendments on appropriations acts. And we're also concerned about spending that has ballooned our debt and borrowed against the future generations of American citizens.
I think this ends one of two ways, Trace. Either Kevin bows out or he essentially has to put on a straitjacket with a rules package that we've presented to him that doesn't allow a lot of discretion for the Speaker of the House.
I hope one thing is clear after this week. I never give up.
I'm thrilled at where the House of Representatives is today. What we negotiated ensures that we will never again have a circumstance like this omnibus spending legislation, because bills will have to comport to a single subject. There will be germanity requirements.
You apparently were able to earn a concession from him that all of the security video from Capitol Hill on January 6th is going to enter the public domain. What do you expect to see in that video?
I'm a believer that transparency answers a lot of questions, and whether there's higher criminal acuity for some, lower criminal acuity for others, releasing that video would be of great interest to many of us on the Judiciary Committee and I think many people throughout the country. We also have a commitment to have a vote on term limits, something that's popular in every zip code in America except Washington, D.C. We have a commitment for a budget resolution to roll back to 2022 spending levels.
Was there anything specific you were asking for in that dramatic end period that we all witnessed?
Yeah, what was at issue in the 14th and 15th vote was the one-person motion to vacate, because a more moderate Republican, Tony Gonzalez, was going to vote against the rules package that ensconced this one-member motion to vacate, a key accountability tool. I was pointing over at where Tony Gonzalez sat to say, hey, McCarthy, you got to let me know that he's alone here and that there aren't 5, 10, 15 moderates who are going to scuttle this beautiful deal that we've put together. McCarthy gave me that assurance, and now I think we're a very strong team looking forward to the legislative work ahead.
House Republicans say they will not back the debt limit deal, saying Speaker McCarthy made too many concessions to the White House during negotiations.
Threat of government shutdown lingers as Congress heads for August recess.
I don't want government to shut down. Leader Schumer had the same commitment that I had.
Let's get this work done, and let's try to get it done before September 30th.
Lawmakers are scheduled to break for their traditional August recess even before August.
I rise today to serve notice. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role. We have had no vote on term limits or on balanced budgets as the agreement demanded and required. There's been no full release of the January 6 tapes as you promised. You boasted in January that we would use the power
of the purse and the power of the subpoena to get the job done.
8 months later, and we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. Power of the subpoena and power of the purse. Only thing the 118th Congress is known for at this point is electing Kevin McCarthy Speaker and underwriting Biden's debt. And unfortunately, there's only one of those things we can remediate at this time. Power of the purse. Mr. Speaker, dust off our written January agreement. Begin to comply or face a motion to vacate the chair.
The effing motion, the challenge from House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, behind closed doors, practically daring his Republican colleagues to try to oust him from the Speaker's chair.
In response, Gaetz had his own words back to the Speaker. He said, how about this? How about just move the effing spending bills?
Matt's mad about an ethics complaint.
That is an abject lie from a sad and pathetic man.
If somebody wants to make a motion against me, bring it. There has to be an adult in the room.
I don't think the adult in the room would lie to House conservatives, and that is exactly what Kevin McCarthy did.
You guys all counted me out. I'm Speaker. I'm the 55th Speaker of the House.
The one thing Democrats, Republicans, the White House, that we all have in common is that Kevin McCarthy at one point or another has lied to all of us.
Are you expecting Democrats to back you up then?
No, I personally am not.
The gentleman will state the form of his resolution.
Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
The clerk may call the roll.
Biggs. Yay.
What is going on? Are we redefining what conservative is?
Buck. Yay.
What's going on in this country today? What's going on in this body?
Burchett. Yay.
And all of a sudden, my phone keeps sending text messages. Oh, look, give me money. I filed the motion to vacate.
Crane. Yay.
It's disgusting. It's what's disgusting about Washington.
Gaetz. Yay.
I take no lecture from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you want.
Good of Virginia. Yay.
Under Kevin's speakership that lasted 15 rounds of him never giving up, this Republican majority has exceeded all expectations.
Mace. Yay.
Then we definitely need higher expectations.
Rosendale. Yay.
The yeas are 216. The nays are 210. The office of Speaker of the House is hereby declared vacant.
So I may have lost a vote today, but as I walk out of this chamber, I feel fortunate to have served the American people. I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else.
96% of the Republicans voted for McCarthy. 4% decided they were so morally superior. They're traitors. All 8 of them should in fact be primaried. They should all be driven out of public life.
You think I'm paralyzing the House of Representatives? What's paralyzed the House of Representatives has been the failure of Speaker McCarthy. So this represents the ripping off of the Band-Aid.
Did Matt Gaetz hurt the party by ousting Kevin McCarthy?
It depends. I mean, it depends on how good the new speaker, whoever that may be. Maybe we'll end up with one of the great speakers of all time, in which case Matt Gaetz did a tremendous favor.
Tell me if you've heard this one before. House Republicans struggle to find a speaker.
So are we seeing the same movie again?
Majority Leader Steve Scalise is put forward by the party. He doesn't have enough votes. He pulls out.
Jim Jordan now loses 3 ballots on the floor. He pulls out.
There were jokes for Emmer that third time was going to be the charm, but it was not.
What now?
Mark Molinaro said, look, why don't we just take a poll to see where people stand on the guy who came in second to Emmer, who was Mike Johnson. Guess which member objected? Kevin McCarthy, because he hadn't quite figured out how he could scuttle and sabotage Mike Johnson. Then McCarthy inspired a write-in campaign to get people to vote for McCarthy. And McCarthy got these 43 votes. And so Johnson said, well, if we've got 43 people still voting for McCarthy, let's have a roll call. Let's see if those 43 members will stand up and say they still want McCarthy back. And those 43 votes, when we went to a roll call, withered to nothing.
I'm honored to have the support of my colleagues, and what they understand about this is servant leadership. America is the last best hope of man on the earth. Abraham Lincoln said it, Ronald Reagan used to remind us all the time, and we're here to remind you of that again. Democracy is messy sometimes, but it is our system. This conference that you see, this House Republican majority, is united.
Gaetz. Johnson. McCarthy. Johnson.
The Honorable Mike Johnson is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 118th Congress.
The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now. I want to say to the American people on behalf of all of us here, we hear you. Our mission here is to serve you well, to restore the people's faith in this House, in this great and essential institution.
I made all of you a promise that we would have a Speaker of the House who was more conservative and more honest. And we got our guy. It was so touching to see this man of God talking about how we can fulfill America's great vision together. And it is an America First vision. It is a strong America vision, and one I definitely share.